Hello, and welcome to this special Christmas episode of Anime Audio Commentary. Today I'll be commenting on episode 12 of Chobits. If you'd like to watch along, then start watching now. Alright, last we left off, Hideki had to contend with this potential ghost situation, which ended up just being sort of a misunderstanding, but, it was a nice little horror-themed episode. And now Hideki is being lent a DVD player, which, oh dear. Yeah, his boss knows exactly why he should be lending this, and, man, that's not good. So, yeah, not only is he lent a DVD player, but there's also a sale of, certain DVDs, which, surely Yumi would not approve, but I feel like this is a really good place for Chi to, learn the wrong lesson here, She's probably going to learn a bunch of bad lessons. Oh boy, Yumi. You're barking up the wrong tree just saying like, hey, what are you gonna watch on the DVD player? Hideki, bless his heart, he's saying like, oh, action movies? Ha ha ha. I mean, they will be action-packed in a sense, but boy. So I guess the question is Hideki going to squander his paycheck? Because I feel like he probably shouldn't be doing that. And at the same time, I can't imagine he would actually, have Chi buy him stuff here, but you never know. Maybe with a little bit of coaching, she'll do it on her own. Oh boy, Hideki, you better choose carefully. There are so many options. Oh boy. Truly, is there anything worse than being recognized in public while you're in a seedy establishment? And I guess what's worse is, the Persicom expert might be introducing Hideki to video games. Ah, man. Back when playing video games over the internet with other people was a novel concept, oh boy. MMOs are a dangerous thing. I mean, he's saying, playing a game with Chi would be some big novel thing, they couldn't just, hook up two controllers and play Mario Kart or something, but I mean, I guess it being an MMO is sort of a different thing. Okay. So it's interesting that you can play video games on the DVD player. Or at least the net game, as they call it. That's, I don't know. Because I feel like, maybe the hardware is the same in terms of reading the disc and all that, but You know, a DVD player and something like a Super Nintendo are very different. So I feel like Chi doesn't really understand what a CD is, as evidenced by how she holds it, because, like, you know, you shouldn't really touch, like, the shiny part, you know? It's interesting that her first sort of impulse is like, oh, can we play together, you know? That's nice, I guess, that she's thinking of that. Now, although she is interested in playing, I'm wondering if maybe video games are kind of beyond her, you know? Like, maybe because she's a computer, it's okay, you know, she has a sort of inherent understanding, but at the same time, you know, she had to have a fair few things explained to her, so maybe, video games are kind of beyond her. Like, it seems to be an RPG, in a sense. Ooh. Hideki, you silly goose, you don't have an internet connection, do you? At least that would be my guess. And, like, I don't know what, well, the price of an internet connection was back then. You know, I feel like you'd probably almost have to have, like, a telephone modem. Ooh, okay, so he has to set up an email address first. Man. Man, that's dire. Oh, you can't play the game unless you register with an internet service provider and set up an email account. Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like this is all way too highly technical for Hideki. Because, like, I didn't really live through this sort of era of internet, so, like, you know, I don't really know how to troubleshoot it or fix it or any of that, but, like, I feel like I would struggle. And someone who's seemingly as tech illiterate as Hideki, like, I feel like it's a minor miracle if you were to get things working. You know, for all we know, maybe she, like, knows what she's doing sort of, like, instinctively. Okay, so it's one of those games where you have to play per month. Or pay per month, rather. That's dangerous. Those games are bad for you, man. Like, they're basically just money pits. Now, I guess we do have to wonder, did Hideki actually get into the game, or was he just trying to troubleshoot all night? Like... Man, it's something where they just chastise him for, it's like, man, you didn't set this stuff up yourself? It's like, look, the guy's never had a computer before, alright? Cut him a little bit of slack. Now, Hideki probably shouldn't get Chi's hopes up that, like, oh, everything's ready to go, because I feel like there's gonna be another little hurdle they'll have to cross. Ooh. Okay, so Motosuo was going to just, you know, do his homework like a good student, but Hideki, the bad influence, is saying, oh, no, play video games with us. Like, that's bad. I feel like this is going to be absolutely ruinous for their grades. Now, I feel like they're kind of editorializing a little bit about how remarkable this game is, because, you know, like, this was, like, what, early 2000s? I feel like the game couldn't have been so totally impressive. Yeah, you know, it's interesting that Motosuo made his character to resemble the teacher. You know, that's certainly interesting. So, ostensibly, this is a fantasy game, but it seems to be pretty loose in that you can sort of do whatever you want, you know? Or at least in terms of character creation. So I guess this is kind of what I was getting at earlier, in that, you know, maybe Chi isn't capable of doing this, seeing as how, like, she seems to be not showing up, at least initially. Man, so that's another issue. She might have connected to a different server, in which case, like, there's no way for them to communicate, you know, that's a bit of a pain considering how she is, you know. Like, worst case scenario, she runs into some scummy person on the server and gets, like, scammed or something. I was almost gonna say she would fall for, like, a phishing attack or something, but I don't know if such a thing really existed in MMOs, like, 20 years ago. You know, at least Hideki has the right approach here of, like, I can't let Chi wander around on her own. Oh boy. Man, like, already Hideki's picking fights and stuff. So, okay, so it seems like some of these people already know one another. Very interesting, because I feel like, without showing screen names or anything like that, there's no real way to identify people based on sight alone. Now, I get the feeling that if Chi truly is in a different server, there's no way you're gonna find her just by wandering around, you know? Because, like, you are confined to a server. You know, I guess I don't really expect Hideki to know this and to understand this, but, you know, maybe his friends could kind of explain this concept a little bit to him. Yeah, so he seems to have blundered into a bunch of monsters, and, you know, while it is like the classic little slime who really shouldn't be much of a problem for anyone, it's kind of unfortunate that Hideki doesn't really know what he's doing. I find it kind of bizarre that swords are the thing that doesn't work on them. I feel like, if anything, swords should be effective and weapons like maces wouldn't be. Yeah, like, he's just coming out and saying it, like, I was working on a farm, I didn't have time for video games. I feel like maybe they should treat him with, like, a little bit more grace, considering he doesn't really know anything. Although at the same time, he is sort of taking this approach that, like, you know, you can't leave Chi alone because it's dangerous. Like, there's no actual danger, you know. It's not like this is Sword Art Online, whereby if you die in the game, you die in real life, but I don't know. Maybe this is a byproduct of him having never really played games before, and he's just getting sucked into it. I mean, I do know that MMORPGs like this, they are incredibly addictive by design. Like, a lot of people have wasted a whole lot of time playing them. Oh dear. So, night has turned into day, and I feel like they've been playing that whole time, which is, you know, probably not good considering they do ostensibly have things to do today. You know, imagine, like, if you didn't do your homework for prep school, like, that's gonna be a rough thing to explain. So I guess, you know, they didn't really end up finding each other, but I guess they're gonna have to, you know, work a bit harder to find one another within the game. I feel like, there has to be something where, like, you pick the server and you sort of, like, navigate to the same point so you can find each other. There's gotta be some way of doing it, you know? Oh dear. So, the poor behavior is spreading now. Everybody's sleeping in class. Man. So naturally, Hideki's boss is gonna think he was, watching videos on the DVD player, but, like, that's really not the case. Ah, dear. And he hasn't even gone to the store to, buy the funny things. He went there, but he didn't take advantage of the sale. Oh boy. So he doesn't even have to go to the store, he's just being lent some more. Oh boy. So, I feel like while Hideki's, at school or at work, if those are just like lying at home, I feel like she might be predisposed to watching them and therefore learning something. Well, he's actually thinking like, oh yeah, no, they're special action movies. Like, man, that is a real transparent euphemism. Ooh, Hideki. Pleasure is now conflicting with responsibility, You can't play games all the time, you do have to be responsible. It's unfortunate, it might disappoint Chi, but... she could always play a game by herself, right? I mean, sure, it's probably not as good as playing with Hideki like she wants, but... Yeah, so it looks like they're gonna pull another all-nighter and ruin everything. So it's interesting that they all immediately drop in the same place again, but she doesn't. So I feel like this has got to be user error or something. I feel like there's no real other explanation for it. So interestingly, it seems as though Chi might be literally too powerful to play this game. I feel like that's kind of a cop-out that her CPU is too powerful again, but... I mean, seeing as how she's bricked other Persicoms by interfacing with them before... I don't know, could she crash like an online video game? I'm almost wondering if they're setting this up like she's like the princess in the castle, Or maybe, I guess, seeing as how we're being shown this giant demon, it'd be, I guess, interesting if she were somehow that. I mean, it's like the big giant villain. Well, I guess just thinking about it, it is probably an NPC, but she's probably going to show up as like a white mage or something. So at least Hideki is determined to try and fight the boss, if only to spend time with Chi in the game. Maybe the effort is a little bit misplaced. This isn't real life or anything, but... Man, the boss didn't kill him instantly. Like, that's, kind of remarkable. Figured something like that would. So unfortunately, it seems like they haven't really gotten down a strategy for fighting this guy, Like, maybe there's something they could learn to do, seeing as how much bigger and better people have fallen fighting this demon. I don't know, I think she's definitely going to show up right at the nick of time. And it is mighty convenient, but on the other hand, I'm wondering if this is due in part to her nature as a Persicom. Her greater understanding of programming potentially allows her to intervene in such a way. Or maybe just her incredible processing power factors in somehow. I guess it's kind of immaterial one way or another, but it is interesting that she just shows up and instantly nukes the boss like it's nothing. It is kind of remarkable that she descends like an angel and instantly destroys the demon, all while glowing with ethereal light. It's definitely something there. Oh boy, Hideki doesn't understand. You can't just rewind. So I'm wondering if that truly was Chi, or if it was just her likeness or something. Okay, so... interesting. Chi didn't do anything. Yeah, so I'm wondering if this is maybe another instance of her other personality or whatever it is taking over. Wow. So, they seem to think that Chi's on par with supercomputers in terms of processing power, which, that's pretty darn remarkable. I'm not sure how they can figure that out based off of just playing an MMO, but... man. So finally, Hideki's latched onto the idea that maybe we shouldn't be playing online games. Although, she's got the wrong idea here. This isn't a game, per se, but, maybe a little Mario Kart wouldn't, do them any harm. Alright, well that's it for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, then by all means, tune in for the next one. Merry Christmas, Space Cowboy.